Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Welcome to second PU Computer Science online classes. In last class, we already completed some concept from database concept. So maybe the database model, hierarchical model or relational model here, or we can say as the network model. Now today's I am going to explain the new concept that is about our normalization rule and also with that entity relationship diagram. So before concept I am going to select as the normalization rule. Now what do you mean by a normalization in database concept? So we can say that the normalization is the process of organizing data in database. That means maybe by using table we are going to represent, we are going to structure or we are going to organize the data one by one here in table or by using the table here. So this is the meaning about our normalization. So is the process of organizing data in database. And before going to organize the data in database, first of all the first thing is we need to create the tables. So this include creating the tables and relationship among the tables according to the rules here. And not just only we are going to create the table and making some relationship among or between those tables in this case or between those records in our database concept, we can say that we also need to make the design to protect the data here. Correct? No? First of all, we can say that design to make the protection of the data and to make the database more flexible. So how it possible to make the database more flexible? Just by eliminating the duplication, that is called as the redundancy of the data. Why? Because we know that the meaning of the redundancy, that is called as the duplication. We are going to make the duplication. That means we are not using the same data again and again in our database. Correct? No? Yeah. Or finally, we can say that inconsistency of the dependency. So this is the meaning about our normalization rule. And there are few rules are there in our database normalization, and each rule is called as the normal form. Clear this point here? Why? Because some of the rules are there in our database. So maybe the rules are first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, and also called as the BCNF. And later words I will tell what's the full form of each and everything. But now just only I said here the meaning, or we can say that the word normal form. Why? Because we know that there are few rules are there in our database normalization, and all those rule or the each rule, maybe the first rule, second rule, so many rules are there. So the each normal or the each rule is called as a normal form in this case here. Okay? And if you are using or if you are observing the first, that means if the first rule is observed, the database is considered to be an first normal form. Clear this point? Why? Because in each rule, first of all we are going to organize the data, we are going to make the relationship. So in each rule we divided all those works in this case here. And if the first rule is observed, when you are going to observe the first rule here, that means here we can say that the database is considered to be an first normal form. And if the first three rules are observed, maybe the first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, that is called, that means we are going to observe three normal form here. If the first three rules are observed, the database is considered to be an third normal form. Okay, and although all type of normalization are possible here, and the third normal form is considered as the highest level of normalization. Why? Because necessary for the most application. Why? Because in this rule we already organized the data, we already made the relationship between the records here, we already performed some of the operations in this case here. So we can say that the third normal form is considered as the highest normal form, and such normal form necessary for most program, for most application. And finally, let's some last touch to our normalization rule. The normalization rule are divided into following normal forms here. So we know that. Why? Because are divided into the normal forms are first normal form, that is also called as the 1NF. Clear this point here? In short form, the first normal form is also called as the 1NF here, and the second normal form, third normal form. So the second normal form is called as the 2NF here, and the third normal form is called as the 3NF, and the last normal form is called as the BCN. Okay, kya? So NF in this case here. So what's the meaning of the BCNF? The full form of the BCNF is the Boyce and Codd normal form. So the spelling of the Boyce is the B-O-Y-C-E. Boyce and Codd normal form, C-O-D-D. Clear this point here? So this is about our normalization rule. Why? Because it is 1 mark question. So just only we don't want all those explanation here. Mostly we need to give importance to our 1 mark question, that is the meaning of the normalization rule. But also I used some of the example or some of the division in our normalization rule. What are the division are that in our normalization rule? Well, because we know that the normalization rule means here the process of organizing data in database here. So to organize the data, first of all we need to create the table, we need to make the relationship between the records in this case here. So all those we need to perform in our normalization rule, and we know that such normalization rule are divided into some normal form. So the normal forms are the first normal form here, second normal form, third normal form, and BCNF. Why? Because BCNF full form is the Boyce and Codd normal form here. Now, after knowing the normalization rule, let's our next most important concept, that is called as the ER diagram. Okay. So, what's the full form of the ER diagram? The full form of the ER diagram is the entity relationship diagram, and we already know the meaning of the entity here. Why? Because the table is called as the entity, the other name of the table here, or simply we can say that an entity is an object. So one example for the object, table or the form here. So simply in simple words, the meaning of the entity we can say, we can take as the table or the form is called as the entity here. And now let's the next thing about our relationship. That means here an entity relationship means how each table is related or linked to each other. Why? Because maybe two tables are there, and in each table some of the columns are there. Maybe some in first table 5 columns are there, in second table also 5 to 6 columns are there. So all those table columns are related to each other here. Clear this point here? So this is the meaning of the entity and also the meaning of the relationship. So we can say that entity is called as the table here, and relationship means how each table is related, linked to each other. Now let's, why? Because in this concept we are going to learn about here the components of the ER diagram and about entity, attributes and also the relationship. Now before going to start about the components of the ER diagram, the correct meaning or the 1 mark question meaning for our entity relationship, we can say that the ER diagram is a visual representation of data. That means whatever the data we organized concept here, and by using the rows and column, such data we are going to view. In this case, such data we are going to see, okay, seen in this case here. So the ER diagram is a visual representation of data here. That means we are going to organize. We already organized. Now just after organizing the data, what's the data is there in our database, we are going to visualize, okay, such a data here. So we can say that data describes how each table or how each entity is related to each other, correct? No, why? Because I already said, but just only in other way I used the meaning for our entity relationship diagram. Why? Because for our entity relationship diagram, we can say that is a visual representation of data here, and that describe how the each data or how each table is related to each other. And we know that why? Because such entity relationship diagram has some of the components here. So the components of the ER diagram, so such components of the ER diagram are classified as entity, attribute, and the relationship, okay. Now let's the first thing about our entity here. Why? Because I already said the meaning of the entity, and I already drawn some of the diagram for our entity in this case here. So we can say that an entity here is an object, correct? No, why? Because it is the object, it is the thing. So simple meaning we can say for the object as the it is the thing we can see. Such one is called as the object here. So an entity is an object or can be a name. That means the person name, we can use any name, we can give any name for the table, maybe the person name, maybe the place name here, or maybe the class name. So in this example, I used some of the entity, some of the tables here. So the first table name is the student, and second one is I used as the teacher, and third one is the projects. That means here how many tables are there, how many entities are there. Why? Because table only call as the entity. So in this example, 3 entities or the 3 tables are there. Why? Because I already said the meaning of the entity. An entity is an object here. That means here maybe you can use the person name, or maybe the place name, or the any class name. And now some of the representation is that how, or what about, or how we draw the diagram for the entity here. So an entity, or in ER diagram, an entity is represented by using rectangles. Clear this point here. Why? Because some different type of the diagram is that we need to draw for each, okay, components here, and such entity or an entity is represented by using the diagram. Or what's the diagram we need to draw for the entity? The diagram is called as the rectangle. Why? Because see in this example, just only I used the rectangle, and later was I used the name for the table, and the name is the student. So student, teacher, and the project here. Now we can say, or let's one example I am going to take, or I consider an example of an organization. Why? Because we know the meaning of the organization. Organization only call as the company here. So consider example of an organization. So how many entities it possible to create here? So many entities we can create. Maybe the employee, correct here, employee table we can create, manager table we can create here, otherwise the product table also we can, and also lastly we can say that the department. So many more entities can be taken as a table for the organization or from the organization here. So all are the example. Why? When it possible to take all those table here, when you are using the example of an organization. So by using the organization we can create many more entities, many more tables here. So some of the tables are employees tables, maybe the manager table here, or maybe the product table, purchase table, sales table here. So many more entities can be taken, okay here in this case. And why? Because now this is the just only one simple example for our entity, and second diagram shows about here how the table related to each other here. Why? Because the first table name is the employee and second table name is the department. Why? Because here the employee works for the department. There is some relationship is there from one table to the another table. So here two tables are there. Employee is the first table and department is the second table. Now I am going to make some relationship between those table. So just only employee works for the department here. So in this way we can make the creation, we can make the relation in between those tables here. Okay, and now we know that why? Because in our entity the one more entity is there and such entity is called as the weak entity. Now what do you mean by a weak entity? The meaning of the weak entity, we can say that it is an entity and such entity depends on another entity. Clear this point here? Why? Because the one entity is depends on the another entity. We know the meaning of the entity. Entity is called as the table here. So the one table is depends on the another table. Now the suitable diagram for our weak entity, and when you are going to draw the weak entity, that means how we are going to draw, how we are going to represent the diagram. So such weak entity is represented using double rectangle. Clear this point here? Why? Because I already said maybe just only a single or maybe just only the entity, such one is representing using our rectangle, and maybe the weak entity going to represent by using our double rectangle here. So in this example we can say that the loan and the payment. Clear? When you are going to take any loan, we need to pay the amount, we need to pay such loan here. So we can say that in this diagram the payment is called as the weak entity. Why? Because we know the meaning of the weak entity. The one entity is depends on the another entity. So the entity with loan and the payment. Why? Because loan is not called as the weak entity. Our payment is called as the weak entity. How we are thinking? It is weak entity. Why? Because such one going to represent by using our double rectangles here. And after knowing why? Because the entity and the weak entity, let's this second components of the ER diagram. The second components of the ER diagram is the attributes. Okay, the attributes. Now what do you mean by the attribute? Why? Because we already created the table and such table is called as the entity here, and we already know some of the weak entity. Now just only if you are creating the table, it not called as the table, correct? No, why? Because we know that the table containing some of the relation and such relation consisting by using the rows and the columns here. So we can say that whatever the columns we need to use in a table, such one is called as the attribute. Okay, so an attribute or the each columns is identified by a distinct header. Why? Because maybe the table name is the student. Okay, the student is the table. Now some of the attributes we are going to take for a student table as the register number, name, and maybe the class here, or maybe the total marks percentage. Each and every columns we can use for the table student. So attribute means the each column is identified by a distinct header is called as the attribute, and attribute only called as the fields here. Or in simple meaning we can say for the attribute, an attribute describes a property and characteristics of an entity. Why? Because the table, how many columns are there? Whatever the columns you used, so such columns name is called as the characteristics of an entity. And for example, if you are going to take maybe the, for example here, the student name here, or the register, age, address, so all those are called as the of an entity, correct? No, here of an attribute of an attribute of the entity student here. Why? Because I already draw, this is called as the table. The table name is called as the student, and some attribute it containing, that is the name, roll number, and the age. So all are called as the attributes here. And an attribute is represented by using the diagram. The diagram is called as the ellipse, ELLIPSE. So such one going to draw in this manner. Clear this point here? So this is called as the, why? Because an attribute is represented using the diagram. diagram. The diagram is called as the ellipse here. So this is we need to draw in this manner here. So this is called as the ellipse here. So clear this point. What about the attribute here? Why? Because what are the columns we are going to use for the table? So the columns are called as the attributes, and such column only called as attributes fields here. So many names are there for the column. So in this example, the student is the entity, and some of the attribute of the student are, that is the name, age and the roll number. Clear this point here. And later next one after, let's the next thing about our key attribute. Now what do you mean by a key attribute and how we are going to represent such a key attribute? So the key attribute is a main characteristics of an entity. Clear this point here. It is the main key of the table here. So such one is called as the key attribute. So key attribute represents the main characteristics of an entity. It is the main key of the table here, or it is used to represent the primary key. Clear this point here. It need to represent the primary key. Now what do you mean by a primary key, or which key is called as the primary key? So the primary key is a key, okay here, and that uniquely identifies each record in a table. That meaning is very simple here. Whatever the value we are going to enter, such value need to enter only once. Such value not going to repeat again. Clear this point here in this record or in this column here. So this is the meaning about our primary key. So we can say that the key attribute is the main column of the table, is the main characteristics of an entity here, and it is used to represent the primary key. Why? Because you already know the meaning of the primary key. The primary key is the key that uniquely identify each record in a table. So what are the columns we can use for the, or we can use as a primary key? So some of the columns are student ID. Such number not going to repeat. Correct no kya? 1, 2 for each student we providing some of the number, and such number not going to repeat. Or maybe the employee ID like that only separate number we are going to give for each employee in this case here. Or maybe the bank account number, such number not going to repeat here. Driving license number here, or transfer certificate ID. So all are the example we can use for the primary key. So we can say the key attribute, that means the ellipse with underlying lines, okay, is called as the key attribute. So in this diagram we know that the student, and the student contains some of the attribute, name, ID, address and age. So which example is suitable example for the key attribute? In this example I used, that is the address. Why? Because how you are knowing the address is the suitable example for our key attribute. Why? Because I said ellipse. Why? Because this one is called as the ellipse. Correct? No? How we are going to draw? In this manner we are going to draw the ellipse with underlying lines. Okay, the ellipse with underlying lines is called as the key attribute here. So we can say that. So this example for our key attribute, or we can say as the attribute key with primary key. So clear this point here. What do you mean by a key attribute? That means the key attribute is the main characteristics, main key of the table. It is the or we can say that it is the first key of the table. Otherwise any key we can use. Okay, here. But in most cases the primary key we using as the first key of the, or first column of the table is called as the primary key. So is the main characteristics of an entity here, and it is used to represent the primary key. You already know the meaning of the primary key here, and later next one after that we can say that finally how we are going to representing, that means the ellipse with underlying lines represents the key attribute. Okay, so this is the example. The address is the suitable example for our key attribute. And after completing the key attribute, the next thing about our composite attribute. Now what do you mean by a composite attribute? That means we can say that an attribute, okay, can contain their own attributes. Okay, if any attribute, why? Because we know the meaning of the attribute. Column only called as the attribute or the attributes. If more columns are there, attributes is called as. Okay, so an attribute contains or have their own attribute. These attributes are known as the composite attribute. So here this is the example for our attribute or the composite attribute here. So we know that address is the column of the table. Okay, it is one column of the table here, and such address containing their own attributes are city, state, pin. Why? Because everything comes in our attribute address only here. Clear this point here. So this is the example. Why? Because an attribute containing their own attributes or an attribute have their own attributes here. This is called as the composite attribute. Okay. So here I used the example. Example is the address. So attribute name is the address, and address containing their own attributes are city, state and the pin. Why? Because now just we completed two components of the ER diagram. The first component is the entity and second component is the attribute. Now let's the third attribute name, that is called as the relationship. Okay, yeah. So the third attribute is the relationship. Now what about the relationship? Why? Because we know that the relationship describes relation between entities. That means how the entity table going to relate with each other. So we can say that the relationship describes a relation between entities. How each table related to each other is called as the relationship. I already said the entity is going to represent by using rectangle. Attribute is represented by using the ellipse here. Now let's the relationship. So the relationship is represented using diamonds. Clear this point here. It is representing by using the diamonds. Now this is the diagram is called as the diamonds diagram here. So why? Because see in this example, so here I used the relationship between two tables here. And we know that why? Because the relationship means the relation between the tables or relation between the entities is called as the relationship, and it is represented using the diamonds here. And there are three types of relationship that exist between the entities here. So what are the three type of relationship are existing between the tables? So the relationship are the binary relationship, second one is called as the recursive relationship, and third one is called about our ternary relationship. Now why? Because I already said the types of the relationships are binary relationship, recursive relationship, and third one is called as the ternary relationship. Now why? Because here this is the diagram, suitable diagram for the relationship. Now first of all, before going to tell about our binary relationship, the suitable diagram for the relationship is the entity 1, table 1, relationship with the table 2. Clear this point here. Entity relationship with the entity. So two tables are going to relate, or simply we can say as the teacher's student. Why? Because teacher is one table and student is the another table, and we are going to make the relationship. Okay, here the data going to relate between the tables. So that is called as the teacher's student. Okay, so there is some relationship is there between the table teacher and with the table student here. So now why? Because I already said it going to represent the diamonds in this case here, and just only I already completed some of the diagram or some of the example for our relationship here. Now I already said about this one. Some of the types of the relationship are there, that are binary relationship, recursive relationship and the ternary relationship. So what do you mean by a binary relationship? So we can say that here the relationship that exists between two entities. Clear this point here. That means maybe any relationship that is exist between two entities, in between two tables, that is called as the binary relationship. Okay, here. And this binary relationship is further divided into three types. Clear this point. Relationship is divided into three types: binary, recursive, ternary, and again the binary relationship is classified into three types. So the types are one to one, one to many, many to many. Clear this point here. So this is the classification of the relationship, binary relationship. Now what about our one-to-one relationship? So what about, so we can say that this type of relationship, that means I selected the first thing. Why? Because we already know binary relationship means the relation exists between two tables, exists between two entities, is called as the binary relationship. And such binary classified as one-to-one, one-to-many and many-to-many. Now let's see the first thing about our one-to-one. Okay, so this type of relationship is rarely seen in real world. Okay, in this case here, that means we are not going to see such a relationship, very rarely we are going to see in a real world in this case here. So how it going to make the relationship? So we can say that this diagram shows the relationship between one-to-one. Okay, kya? Why? Because the student enroll for the course. So how we are going to tell about one-to-one relationship is there between two tables. So we can say that the one student can enroll only for one course. Okay, the one student can enroll only for one course, and the course can also have only one student. Clear this point here? That means here just one student is there and one course is there, and the course will also have only one student. So there is relationship is there between these tables. Why? Because the one student can enroll only for one course, and the course will also have only one student. That is called as the one-to-one relationship. And let's the next thing about our one-to-many. So we can say that it reflects the business rule here. So or in simple words we can say as the one entity associated with many number of the same entity. So maybe it's a tough, correct now here, to understand what I said now in this case. Why? Because I said now just only the one entity is associated with many number of the same entity. The meaning is very simple. So why? Because we can say that in simple word, the student can enroll only for one course, but a course will also have many students. Clear this point here? Or a course can also have many students. That is called as the one-to-one. Clear this point here? What about the why? Because the same thing whatever I said, the one entity is associated with many number of same entity. Very simply we can use this word, or we can understand this word as the student enroll only for one course, but a course can also have many students there. So that is called as the one-to-many. That means the student, here we can say that here many student enroll for many. Yeah, that means here many students, correct? No, the student can enroll for here course, and the course can also have many students in this case here. Why? Because it is not like our one-to-one. There is no any one student. Many students are going to enroll for courses. Clear? So this is about our one-to-many here. And lastly, we can say about our many-to-many. So the same diagram we can use. Why? Because the diagram, the student enroll course, I use such diagram for our one-to-one. I use a diagram for our one-to-many here. And also I am going to use such one for our many-to-many, this same diagram here. So the above diagram, or we can say that this diagram represents that the many student can enroll for more than one courses. Clear this point here? The many student can enroll for more than one courses is called as the many-to-many here. So this is some of the relationship between our some of the relationship that exist between or that exist in our diagram here. So clear this point here? What are the relationships are there? Why? Because one-to-one and one-to-many here, and finally we can say as the many-to-many relationship. Thank you.